Hello beautiful people. I'm going to go through the 7 different varieties of tomatoes that I'm planting this year. It's not quite warm enough yet to get them in the ground, but I do have my seed starts and ready to go, and they're growing like weeds, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to address them, walk through them, chat about them a little bit. There's 7 different varieties, all from Baker Creek heirloom seeds, and 3 of them I grew last year and 4 of them are new to me this year. So let's get started. The first one is Dad's Sunset. I'll let you take a look at it. These I started probably about 6-7 weeks ago. Then I have another set that I just recently up-potted that aren't quite as big, probably half as big, and some of them look like they might be struggling a little bit. They are probably needing some fertilizer, so I did start some fertilizer on them, some very light dose. So Dad's Sunset, and this is an orange tomato. I will give you a kind of overview of it and add a picture as well so you can see what they look like. But Dad's Sunset tomatoes, this is a indeterminate tomato, which means that it will have to be trimmed. It will grow continuously, and there's not a set number of fruits or tomatoes that it will produce. So it will produce until it dies, pretty much. So for Dad's Sunset tomato, 95 days to maturity. It's a perfect orange tomato. Large 10-ounce fruit is very smooth, uniform, and beautifully glowing orange in color. It keeps very well. One of the best flavored tomatoes we have tried, and that is from Baker Creek. Full sun, sprouts in 7 to 14 days. Ideal temperature 75 to 95 degrees. Seed depth 1/8 of an inch. Planting space 24 inches. Frost hardy, no. Growing tips, start indoors 6 to 10 weeks before last frost. Heat mats help to warm soil and speed germination. And on their website, Baker Creek's website, it's $2.75 per packet of seeds, and the minimum seed count that they include is 25. So that is the Dad's Sunset. And I tried those last year. I started them from seed along with my 2 or 3 other red tomatoes, and the seed starting didn't go real well. I think I ended up with a handful of plants, maybe 2 or 3, and then those ultimately died when I transplanted them up-potted them. But also, as the season progressed and my plants started to grow and produce fruit, I did realize that one actually made it. So I did have one Dad's Sunset orange tomato plant that did survive, and I was able to try them, and they're very tasty. And I swore I was going to get more in the ground this year. So Dad's Sunset, I think I have 40 to 50 of those plants, so I should have no problem getting my fill of orange Dad's Sunset tomatoes. Okay, the next one we have is Gold Medal. We'll take a look at it. Very similar. I don't see a lot of differences in the plants. It does smell good. So this is the Gold Medal, again, Baker Creek heirloom seeds. And I will give you a little overview of it. So the Gold Medal is also indeterminate. So same thing, it will require pruning and will have indefinite number of fruit that it produces. So this one is 75 to 90 days as well. 1 to 3 pound fruits are among the smooth bicolored tomatoes we carry, and one of the most beautiful we have seen. Yellow fruit is blushing with rosy red that radiates from the blossom end. The firm flesh is of superior quality, being sweet and mild. They have very little acid, great for fresh eating. From the late legendary seed collector Ben Quisenberry. Full sun, sprouts 7 to 14 days. Ideal temperature 75 to 95. Seed depth 1/8 of an inch. Planting space 24 inch. Frost hardy, no. So that is the gold medal tomato, and I'll include a picture from Baker Creek's website as well for that one, so you can take a look at it. It's, if I remember correctly, kind of red, goldish green striped tomato, very pretty. So that's the gold medal, and we'll go to the next one. Just a note on the gold medal, that will be a first for me this year as well. So the Dad Sunset I did plant last year, gold medal will be a new one for me. The next one is Great White. We'll get an up close look at it. Looking pretty healthy. So this is the Great White. And the overview on it, 75 days, large, 1 pound giant with creamy white fruit. This tomato is superbly wonderful. The flesh is so good and deliciously fruity. It reminds one of a mixture of fresh cut pineapple, melon, and guava. One of our favorite fresh eating tomatoes. Fruit is smoother than most large beefsteak types and yields can be very high. Introduced by Gleckler's Seedsman. Full sun, sprouts 7 to 14 days. Ideal temperature 75 to 95 degrees. Seed depth 1/8 of an inch. Plant spacing 24 inches. Frost hardy no. So this will be my first ever white tomato. I've heard they're very good. I'm very excited to try those, and it looks like they'll be very large. So beef steak style, only in white. That is the Great White Tomato. So the next one is called Orange Icicle. And it looks from the picture Roma style to me, but I think it's bigger than Roma. Let's take an up close look. This one's kind of leggy. But once these are ready to plant, you can plant them all the way up to the top set of leaves, because the little hairs that are on the plant stem will root into the ground. So let's look at what they have to say about the orange icicle. 75 days. Sweet, rich, and flavorful with strong citrus overtones made this Jerry's favorite eating variety last season. He just couldn't get enough of the sweet, luscious, glowing orange icicle-like fruit that is like an extra long paste tomato. The variety also makes a lovely orange ketchup and superb salsa. It was a definite winner, and plants were quite productive. In our opinion, this is some of the Ukraine's finest tomato breeding fruits. Fruit has relatively few seeds. Full sun, sprouts in 7 to 14 days. Ideal temperature 75 to 95 degrees. Seed depth 1/8 of an inch. Plant spacing 24 inch. Frost hardy no. Again, this will be a new one for me. So that's 3 new ones for me so far. The Orange Icicle paste type tomato. So there's that. So the next one I have is a Martinis Roma. And we'll take a look at it. Obviously, from the name, it's a Roma tomato. I love Roma tomatoes. And you'll notice as I go through these, I don't have any cherry tomatoes as of yet. I may start some, even though it's getting late in the season. Not a big cherry tomato fan, but I do love Roma tomatoes, and they make excellent paste tomatoes. And I did grow these last year. They are awesome. This is the only one that I have that is determinate. So it doesn't need aggressive pruning. It doesn't get really large. And it has a certain amount of fruit that it will set for the year. And they were pretty prolific, the ones that I had last year. So the Martinis Roma. Martinis Roma, 70 to 80 days. Determinate, fantastic yields of richly flavorful, plum-shaped tomatoes on compact plants that require very little staking. Resistant to early blight, reliable for home or market gardens. The paste type fruit weighs in at 2 to 3 ounces, dry fleshed and very meaty with few seeds. Great for sauces, salsas, and pastas. Full sun, sprouts in 7 to 14 days, ideal temperature 75 to 95 degrees, seed depth 1/8 of an inch, planting space 24 inches, frost hardy no. So the Roma's tomato. That's my one and only Roma, and again I did plant these last year. So far, the Dad Sunset and the Roma I have planted. The Great White and the Gold Medal I have not. Those will be new for me. So on to the next. Okay, the next one is kind of difficult to pronounce, but I believe it's Roloise, and it is a very pretty plant. They have kind of a purple hue to them, and I think the reason why is because of the amount of anthocyanin that's in the actual tomato, which cast a blue or purplish tint. The plants themselves actually cast that tint as well, a little bit anyway. So let's get an up close look at that. See, it has a little bit of a purple tinge. Okay, Roloise. What do they have to say about the Roloise? 85 to 90 days. These gorgeous globes have the luster and stunning color of a stained glass masterpiece. Its beauty is only outshined by its flavor. The Roloise tomato is bursting with sweet, fruity, and complex flavor with just the right acidity, owing its tropical flavor profile to its parentage. It is a cross of the White Wonder tomato, which lends pineapple sweet notes, and the baby blue tomato, which explains the deep indigo blue brush strokes on the shoulders. The big, beautiful fruit averages 10 to 20 ounces each, with the most captivating color and sheen, making it a must-have for market gardeners, chefs, and anyone who loves a gourmet flavored tomato with pizzazz. So full sun, sprout 7 to 14 days, 75 to 90 degrees, seed depth 1/8 of an inch, and 24 inches apart. So that's the Roloise, and I'm very excited to try that. And that is a new one for me as well. So that's 4 new ones for me, and 2 that I've already planted last year. So we're at our final one, and that one is the Woods Brimer. So let me look it up, and we'll take a look at it. Woods Brimer. Okay. So the Woods Brimer. We have grown this remarkable tomato for several years, and it has never disappointed. If you are the tomato grower with a fetish for big red fruit, then here is the tomato of your vegetable fantasies. Developed in the 1920s by W.T. Woods and Son of Richmond, Virginia. This tomato produces large 3 to 4 inch red fruit of perfect round shape. We are not certain whether the variety was developed as a canning tomato or a dinner slicer, because it makes the perfect BLT sandwich. That said, the tomato variety was created and bred in the Mid-Atlantic region, so it will thrive in our humid Midwestern summers and yield wildly off-the-books quantities of picture-perfect monster red tomatoes. This is an heirloom that needs to be brought back into the mainstream creative regional cuisine. Plan on profitable harvest and juicy BLTs all summer. Full sun, sprouts in 7 to 14 days, 75 to 95 degrees, 1/8 of an inch planting depth, 24 inches apart. So that's it, folks. That's my 7 varieties of tomatoes that I'm doing this year. The Woods Brimer and Martinis Roma are my only 2 red varieties that I'm planting this year, and they were very prolific last year. The Dad's Icicle, nope, that's not Dad's Sunset, is the orange tomato that I was able to plant last year. That was my favorite from last year. So there's the 3 from 2022. And then the orange Icicle, Great White, Gold Medal, Roloise. All are different colors, not red. Roloise is the yellow with blue purplish. Great White is white. Gold Medal, it's kind of red. It has red, green, and orange stripes. So that one will be a red variety, similar to red. And then the orange Icicle. So those are them. And I've added pictures as we went through of each off of Baker Creek's website, so you can take a look at what they actually look like as well. And once I am ready and the weather is willing, we will get those planted into our raised bed. So thanks for joining today, guys, and let me know down in the comments what kind of tomatoes that you started from seeds, or what kind you'll be purchasing from your local markets to plant in your gardens this year. I'm anxious to hear if there's any other recommendations that you might have on the different types of tomatoes. So thanks again for joining, and tune in for our next video. Love you.